Hello students, now today we are going through our chapter 5 organizing. So here what you are going to learn? Here you are going to learn the first thing, the meaning of organization. So what is this meaning of this organization first? So organization means identifying and grouping the different activities in the organization and bringing together the physical, financial and human resources to establish the most effective relationship for the achievement of a specific goal of the organization. So here what they are going to do in organizing, they are going to find the different tasks. Okay, grouping of activity means what? Suppose if you talk about finance department, so all those activities like accounting, auditing, all these kind of activities, income tax procedures will be related to this finance department. So all such activities will be put under the finance department. This means identifying and grouping different activities in the organization. In the same manner we can say the production department, so all those activities related to the production department will be put under the production department. This means we'll have to put together the physical, that means people, financial means money, and human resources all together. Okay, physical means in terms of machinery, wherever it is required or whatever the requirement is there, fulfilling those requirement in the organization. Say for example, if somebody is working in IT company or in banks, they would be requiring computer, so that is a machine. So you'll have to put that. So that is the meaning of organizing, so that the work will be done efficiently. This is how the goal of the company can be achieved. Now, example, your school plans to conduct a sports on a sports day or annual function. All the teachers and students are assigned different duties. Various resources are arranged. A coordinator is appointed, whom everyone reports, and every work will be done. So here in school also, if any in function or something starts in the school, so what happens, definitely there will be a person who will be responsible for it, and he will be taking care of everything. So here we can see that the work is divided. Already we will be deciding who will be the coordinator, who will be the volunteer. So all these things are decided before, and then after this organizing, the people will be put or given the work. That is the job of staffing, which will be our next chapter. Now the process, the important part. So in organization process, the first point is identification and division of work. So here the first thing which you have to do is the identify that what kind of activity is related to which department. Suppose if we talk about production department, so store department is a kind of place where from where the raw material is shifted to the production unit. So that will be related, that is actually related with the production department, so you'll have to put that department under the production department. So this means identifying those activities, the person who will be doing work of production, then all these employees and all these machines which are required in the production activities, all these things will be arranged in such a manner. And if they are related to the production department, then you will find all those kind of machines, people who will be doing production under this production department only. So that is meaning of identification and division of the work. So work will be allotted that way. If an engineer will be there, mechanical engineer, then you will have to send him to the engineering department or in the production department. So he cannot work somewhere else, like he cannot work in accounting. So in accounts we need mcom or bcom, such kind of people we require over there. So the right place for them will be finance department, but in production department we need engineers. So this is the meaning of identification and division of work. So first identify what activity will be done in which department, then the division of work will be done, that who is going to do what kind of work. Okay, then the second point, grouping the jobs and departmentalization. Okay, now here after dividing the work, okay, the second point is grouping of activities or grouping the jobs and the departmentation. So how do we group the jobs and how do we make the departments? So after dividing the work into smaller jobs, see what we have done in the previous step, we have divided the entire work into smaller parts, okay, smaller jobs. Then we are going to relate these similar jobs and are grouped together and are put under one department. As I told you, see, first thing, important thing is to decide what kind of work will be done by whom. So that thing we learned in this previous point, identification and division of the work. Then the second thing will be departmentalization and grouping the jobs. So here the work will be divided into smaller jobs related to the similar job and put together and put one department. So here what they are going to do, they will be making some department like finance department, production department, they are going to make. So this is called as departmentalization. Now the departmentalization or grouping of jobs can be done in the organization in the following way. Now once you identify what kind of work is required in the company, then you can easily put those people in the various departments. So here basically in departmentation there are two types of department, functional department and divisional department. So what is functional department? See, when a company is making just one single product, then functional department will be required. In case study this point comes, okay. So here in the second part, the divisional department is there, means when a company is making more products, then they will have to make divisional department. So here under this method, jobs related to common function are grouped under one department. So if you talk about functional department, it will be like one company will be there and it is having four departments like finance department, production departments, marketing departments, HR department, like that. So this is a functional structure. Okay. If you talk about divisional department, then divisional department is basically made when there are company which make more than one type of product. Okay, so look out for this in the case study. If they're talking, if a company is making more than one type of product, then you should write in answer that divisional departmentation should be done. Okay, under this, jobs related to one product and grouped under one department. Okay, so what will happen over here? Suppose if a company is there, Hindustan Unilever, and it is making soaps and chocolates. Okay, so two different type of product they are making. So what will be a suggestion? Your suggestion will be of divisional department. So here under this chocolate departments, which will be called a division, a separate division will be there for chocolate and one will be there for soaps. So every single division will be having its own finance department, marketing department, HR department, like that. So this means two divisions will be made and they will be having their own departments, production department, finance department, and they'll be taking care in this way. So actually you can see that two functional departments are there for two different divisions. Okay, so it will be divided like that way. If it would have been just one single product, then functional structure or functional department can be made. Now assignment of duties. Now after this thing, what you have to do, assigning the duties, who will work, what kind of work will be done by a person. Suppose if a person is there, accountant, so what kind of work he will be doing, you will have to write that what will be his duties. So after dividing the organization into specialized department, each individual working in different department is assigned a duty matching to his skills and qualification. The work assigned according to the abilities of the individual, employees are assigned duties by giving them a document called as job description. So what they used to do, suppose there is a post of accountant. So they will be writing in a paper that what kind of duties will be performed at that particular post. So all this job description, it is a kind of paper in which the duties will be written regarding some post. Like here I am giving example of accountant post. So the duties which will be performed by the accountant will be mentioned in the document which is called as job description. Okay, so this document clearly defines the contents or responsibility related to job. Now establishing reporting relationship. So reporting relationship means what? See here in the company there are two type of peoples like superior and subordinate relationship. So superior and subordinate relationship means what? That one will be boss and the other person will be working under that boss. Okay, so a person should know that to whom he should respond or to him he will have to report. So that is the case of superior subordinate relationship. So after the grouping of activities in different departments, the employee have to perform the job, and to perform the job every individual needs some authority. So in fourth step of organization process, all the individuals are assigned some authority matching to the job they have to perform. So the assignment of the authority result in the creation of superior subordinate relationship, and the question of who reports to whom is clarified. Mark till here. So what they are saying here, you already learned by the this principle of scalar chain, where you learned about the line of command, which need not to be broken. You cannot break the scalar chain or a line of command. So here, what we learned over there, we learned a boss and a subordinate relationship or superior subordinate relationship. So here the authority will be flowing from top to bottom. So at the top level, the most of the authority will be given, means power will be given at the top level. So most of the power is being held by the top level employees, then at the middle level, and then at the lower level. But at every level there will be boss and the subordinate, or superior or subordinate. So the person should know to whom he should be reporting. So he will be answerable to that particular boss. So this is called a proper superior subordinate relationship. Okay, so this relationship should be very much clear, and power should also be defined clearly. Now, importance or significance of organize. Why do we organize? What is the need for organizing the things? So the first benefit is specialization. Specialization means what? When you define the work, like we have decided the work, like in school, there are various teachers teaching different subjects. So here you can say that if the teacher is teaching accounts or business study, so he will be teaching same subject every day, because that is a kind of post which is of accounts teacher. So if accounts teacher comes and teaches accounts every single day, then he will become more specialized and experienced in that particular thing. So this is the importance of organizing. The second is role clarity. Role clarity means what? See, already I told you about this job description. Okay, which defines what kind of duties is assigned for a particular job. So the role is clear, what you have to do at a certain post, that is clear. So that is called as role clarity. You should know, if you joined as accountant in a company, so you already must have gone through this job description, and you should know that what kind of work you have to do. After this, clarity in working relationship. So in the organization function, it is clearly defined that what and all how much power and authority is enjoyed by different individual or managers. Each manager know very clearly to whom he can give order and from whom he has to receive the order. Very clear. See, in this organizing, it is very important that this thing should happen, that clarity in the working relationship of superior and subordinate should be there. The power will be given to the manager, and it will be decided according to their post. If the post is very high, then that person will be getting more power. Suppose if that person is vice president, then he will be having more authority or power in his hand, and definitely the other people who are working under him as subordinate will be having less power. So this is how we can understand that who will give order to whom. Then fourth point, optimum or best use of resources. So there are very few chances of duplication of work and overlapping of work, because the jobs are assigned to the different individuals. Okay, so what they are telling here, we already assigned or given the jobs to the different people. Like some job, like in account department, account is the wide process. So balance sheet work is given to somebody else. Then purchase accounting will be done by somebody else. Taxes work will be done on the accounting software of and it will be done by somebody else. So this entire accounting process, there is no, it is not like that one single person is sitting in a company and he is doing all the job. It is the responsibility of a group. So there will be some people who will be responsible for a single thing or single work. So this is how we can say that they are utilizing the resources in a proper manner. So duplication of work is not there. If one person is preparing balance sheet, then definitely he will be making just balance sheet only. It is not like he will be jumping on other parts, or he will be doing the other jobs. He will be performing that particular job only. So in this way, the proper utilization of the resources, like peoples as a resource in the company, will be used. Then fifth point, coordination and effective administration. So in this organization functions, similar and related jobs are grouped under one department, which leads to unification of efforts and harmony in the work. So the organization function establish relationship between different departments, keeping in mind the coordination among the various departments. So coordination improves by organizing. See, already we learned about this functional department. So there are various departments like production department, finance department, HR department. So when these different departments are there, they will have to coordinate with each other. And after that, we should remember that if effective administration needs to be done, like if a person is working in the production department, then definitely he will be responsible for each and every activity. So there will be many people who are working in that particular department, so they will be performing their jobs related to their particular department. Okay, so coordination will be there, because see, in case of production department, all those people who are engaged in production work are over there. So definitely, why we are putting such kind of people in the production department only, to improve or improve this coordination process, because it is very important to coordinate the activities in a particular department. And after that, the different departments will also have to coordinate with each other, because the one work of this department depends on the other. Like production departments work, after that the sales department work starts. So if one is producing the goods, the sales department will be selling them. So their job starts after this production. So this is how we can say the coordination is very important among them. Then adaptation to change. So whenever the changes take place in the business environment, with the help of organization function, these changes can be adopted systematically, because organizing function creates different departments and group related activities under each department. With this, changes can be adopted only in the area which may be affected by these changes, and changes can be easily communicated to the whole organization through departments. Organization structure can be suitably modified according to the changes. So if anything changes in the company, like in the business environment, is something is changes, so what you have to do, you'll have to make those changes in the company's structure also. Suppose if a lot of people are coming in this competition, like more companies are coming into competition with your company, then what you are supposed to do, you will have to do or make a similar kind of strategy with in order to compete with such kind of companies. Like let us take example of Maruti Suzuki. After 1991, when the companies were coming into in India, okay, so these companies were coming from abroad. So when this Maruti Suzuki came to know about that such kind of companies are coming to India, what they did, they started changing their production. They installed a huge production capacity inside their company. So why they are doing this, because they knew in the future what is going to happen. So they changed their organization structure, they increased their capacity and set up more plants. Okay, and this is how they increase the production of Maruti 800. So they have changed their structure, so more employment jobs are created. More jobs means more positions like that which were earlier, more positions like that were created. So this is adaptation to the change. If in business environment something changes, then you'll have to make those changes inside the companies also, and for that you will have to change this organization structure because of the need. Because if you want to survive because of this competition, so you'll have to adapt to these changes. Expansion and growth. Now, this is another importance. By optimum utilization of resources and proper division of work, departmentation company can easily meet the challenges and expand their activities in a planned manner. So, what can we say, that because of this organization, the company can find its growth or get their growth in the future. Means they can create more departments, and they can come out with new products, variety of products. So, this is called as growth. So, growth means now variety of product can be come out, and at the same point of time, expansion means when you are creating more number of branches. Okay, so that is expansion and growth. So if you are doing the organization work very nicely, then this can lead your company to a great height. Now, 8 point development of personnel. So employees who are working inside the organization, they need to be developed. So how and what they are required to do? See, delegation of authority is an important part of organization. By delegating the routine work to the managers, can concentrate on developing new method and ways of performing jobs. It gives them time to innovate new technology and areas of growth of the companies. So delegation not to only reduce the workload of the manager, but also help them to use and realize the full potential of the creative work. So what they are telling here, how to develop the personal. Personal means the employee who are working inside the company. So here they are referring to managers. So that's the concept called as division of work. And delegation is more important. Delegation of authority means what? Delegation means when the power is shared from the top level to the other smaller levels. So what does it mean? And why should this be done? See, if I'm a manager in a company and there is so much of responsibility on my head, so what can I do? I can shift some of the burden to my subordinates. I will also give some authority which I am having to them. I will pass on this authority. So this is called as delegation of authority. And why I'm giving this power to my subordinate? So that the work which I am doing, and I am right now I'm giving my work to my subordinates, so they will be requiring some powers which I should pass on to them. Then only the responsibility which I'm giving to them they will be able to fulfill. So this is called as delegation of authority. And what is the benefit of it? I will be freed from all this kind of burden. Then I will be focusing on core work. Okay, so this will give me more time to get some innovative ideas, and I'll be focusing on my core work which I'm actually want to improve. Like in a company, all these top level managers, they never do this all this work by themselves. They definitely delegate the authority to their subordinate, and by doing this they focus all their time in the meetings and thinking about the company and making all this coming out all with these innovative ideas. This is how they run the company. Okay, so that's all for today. We'll be doing this tomorrow. Thank you.